It's no secret that Xabi Alonso's Bayer Leverkusen are the most exciting team in world football right now. With the team being unbeaten for their 30 games they have played this season, they are flying at the top of the Bundesliga, and the team dubbed Leverkusen could win a historic double this year. With Xabi Alonso being an astonishing manager and getting a great output from this team, there is many key players around the whole squad, but potentially the most influential member of the team is Florian Wirtz. The 20-year-old has come back from his big injury layoff and is the crown jewel of Leverkusen. But what is so good about him, and why do all the world's top clubs want to sign him for the summer? Now, Florian Wirtz has been a key player for Bayer Leverkusen for many years. When he was 17, he broke through and played 29 Bundesliga games and even scored 5 goals in the league, reaching levels of creative numbers around Kai Havertz did with his time at Leverkusen as a young child. He continued this through the 2021-2022 season and even played for his German national team at just the age of 18. But as his career was excelling, he picked up a crucial ligament injury which saw him out for over 10 months, missing the World Cup with Germany and missing key games for Leverkusen. It took Florian Wirtz a bit of time to get used to it, obviously with a big layoff, but this season, with the brilliant resurgence of Bayer Leverkusen under Xabi Alonso, he has become a really key cog to the team working and is one of the star players for his side. Now, I've done a video about Xabi Alonso's tactics at Leverkusen, so please go and watch that, or watch the thousands of videos about it, but basically they like to play a possession-based intense counter-press system. It's very compact, having a 5-back, 2 DMs and the 2 attacking midfielders coming inside to help the striker and make sure they can't get played through. But his team are very aggressive when they don't have the ball and try to win the ball back. This works with Florian Wirtz usually playing on that left or the right side of the 10. To work with the striker, so the striker even presses the main centre back with the ball, and then the Wirtz will press the left side or right side. Or however, this might switch and the striker actually presses the midfield while the 2 attacking midfielders go up. And Wirtz has done a really good job abiding by these tactical systems and these restraints that he has now, because he's got to mark one side of the pitch rather than have a free role in attacking midfield. Now, Wirtz will be one cog of the big box midfield they use, with the 4 midfielders trying to angle the defenders of the other team to kick the ball in the centre from out wide. This means often if the ball goes out to Wirtz's side, he has to be aware to make sure he gets onto that press quicker and that his box midfield is compact so they can win the ball back quickly. And Wirtz has been really good at this, picking the ball up from deep from the final third and running with the ball, going past the extra player and usually creating a chance or most likely getting an assist or a goal. He's got incredible amounts of pace, and then when he gets into that space he can really go past the players, and often in a 1v1, because his dribbling is so quick and he's got brilliant acceleration, he often gets the better of the midfielders. The most important thing about Xabi Alonso's side is that the front three are very mobile, energetic and aggressive, and Wirtz is a really big part of that. He's a very aggressive player, doesn't mind going in on the tackle, and because of his pace he really does press quickly, and he showed a lot of tactical strengths of going to do that. This, and he seems to have a telepathic partnership with Boniface, has led to one going towards the defender and one staying off, and they often work with each other to try and keep the ball in an area where they can get help by the midfield such as Xhaka to win the ball back. And Florian Wirtz and usually Hoffman, who play in the 2 attacking midfield roles, often create and start the pressing for the team. They really do press hard on all the defenders of the other team, even if they have a 5-back, and this keeps their intensity up and makes the whole team want to do it as well, pushing the team up the field, making sure they win the ball and the other team get turnovers in their own half. And Florian Wirtz is also a brilliant outball when Leverkusen do have possession. They like playing a 3-2-5 setup to go and attack, but it's not really rigid like that, and is very much a lot of people run where they want to. And often Florian Wirtz will come as deep with the centre midfielders such as Palacios and Xhaka to pick the ball up and run past players, because he's got a brilliant progressive nature. And this is also proven by the stats. In the stats, he has 4.72 progressive carries per 90 and astonishingly makes around 7 progressive passes per game, which is an insane amount. This and the fact he makes around 64 passes and has a really high pass completion of 81% means that he's picking the ball up from deep and also passing off in very good positions. But sometimes as well, what he does, he runs past the midfielders and usually uses his great dribbling ability to then make a progressive pass even out to the wing backs who have pushed up, or to the striker moving through. He's a brilliant weight of ball as well. And Florian Wirtz is the most attacking player, most aggressive player on this team. What they like doing is when they get counter pressed by Leverkusen, they like having their goalkeeper kick the ball up to Boniface. This usually takes most players out of the game, and we saw a goal like against Frankfurt the same way. The ball was kicked up to Boniface and he did brilliant to do his great hold-up play that he has, and Florian Wirtz runs off it, having space because he's not picking anyone up waiting for that counter. This allows Florian Wirtz to be one-on-one because Boniface slips him through, and and Wirtz obviously finishes it brilliantly with an amazing chip. And when Leverkusen attack, they want their midfielders to have as much space as possible, so they often get them players to peel off other players and wait for the ball to be over the top. This works really well with Wirtz because he's brilliant at bringing the ball down, he's brilliant at making runs and positioning himself, and because he's so aggressive at pressing, they usually win the ball back with him in there. And because not always the striker is the one to be put through, Florian Wirtz works well with whoever the striker is, Boniface or Schick or Holzek, to work with them if they are going to hold the ball up and run off them, and often this creates a one-on-one, which he's a very good and confident striker with finishing the ball, getting around his XG this season, around a 5 goals and 5 XG in the league. And while he is a competent finisher, he's also, the best thing about him is creative work. Around every game he's getting around a 0.5 assists, so he's getting assists every 2 games guaranteed, which is in the top 1% of European midfielders. And per game he's doing 6 shot creating actions, being the real creative force in the team, making great decisions to play the ball out wide to Grimaldo and Frimpong, who are very important for this team, while also being able to do the brilliant ball in behind for anyone up front. Wirtz has got especially good at finding gaps deep in the midfield, and often that's enough for him to run with the ball. He's very good at running and very good at going past players, and he usually loves setting up shots for his teammate. And this season he set up 39 shot attempts for his Leverkusen teammates, more than any other player in the squad. And this is also something to do with his brilliant link-up play. He is one of the best players at linking up and doing 1-2s in the league, and no Bundesliga player this season has been involved in more 1-2 combinations than Wirtz, who has 23 so far. And often he's very good with Boniface, with they're both running and both waiting for each other to put them through. And he's got a brilliant technique and wave with the ball to know when to do it and know when to use his attributes in the best way. His ability to pick the ball up from deep and run with it and create a chance is very vital to Leverkusen, because they often give him the space needed, and that has led him to have the 3rd most assists in the league this season, just behind Leroy Sané and teammate Grimaldo. And with Grimaldo being on his side and usually creating triangles with him, a lot of the times he is the one progressing it to Grimaldo to cross the ball into one of the strikers, often having a big hand in every goal Leverkusen score. And he's been a big part of some of the amazing goals they have scored this year, with his brilliant link-up play and quick awareness to quickly help the ball on or take his time when it's needed. Overall, Florian Wirtz is a mature, creative monster who is getting played the right way by a brilliant manager, and this season if Leverkusen win anything, it will be with Wirtz being fit, because he's a big part to this team. And at 20 years old, he's going to cost a lot if anyone wants to buy him this summer, because he's still so young and has a long contract left. And before he got this big injury, there was a lot of talks about moving to bigger clubs, and now that he's come back and arguably been even better for an even better side, it might be time for them talks to start again, with big teams in the Premier League and the Liga wanting him, while also Bayern Munich being rumoured. And of course he is playing in a brilliant system, but I think his raw attacking numbers are so good, and they have been so good for such a long time, that any team should want to get him in his team, because a player like this quality at this age, at 20 years old, you simply cannot pass up. Let me know what you guys think about Florian Wirtz, and let me know where you think he could potentially go in the future, and let's talk about how good he is in the comments. If you enjoyed this video or like any of my tactical stuff, I would recommend going to watch my Enzo Fernandez video about his Brazilian performance against Aston Villa. And if you like any of my other content, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.